Okay, this is Gadgeteer X, Xavier here, and what I've got for you today is a brief look review at the Gamevice gamepad controller for iPhone. This is the model which is for the iPhone 7, which is the latest version of it. Now, they don't publicise what the difference is between this model and the previous model, which was available up until very recently in the Apple Store. I actually owned the previous model. I returned it, which wasn't very good, so I can comprehensively tell you what the difference is between them. But we'll crack it open anyway. We'll have a look at it. So the box is quite sleek. It's quite nice looking. It looks all good. The idea of sort of having a game controller built into your iPhone is obviously sort of the holy grail for me. I've never been happy with screen controls. There's some paperwork in there, etc. And here's the controller itself. Now, it's size adjustable, so you can use it for the iPhone 7 Plus, or you can use it for the original 7. And the way you adjust the size is by a little switch on the side here somewhere. You can unlock it, and then once it's unlocked, you can adjust the size of it. Now, it's hard to do with one hand, obviously. There we go, and that's how you make it smaller. But obviously, we're using it for the 7 Plus, so we want a larger size anyway. Now, as I explained before, the difference between this one and the previous version of this is that the previous version had a standard micro USB charger, which is unusual for an iPhone product. This one doesn't. This one has a lightning cable charger. Also has a headphone socket built in, so you can plug your headphones straight in there. Also, with this one as well, the previous version actually had a battery pack built in, so you could use it to charge your phone essentially. However, this one doesn't. This one has no battery pack built in, and it has a lightning charger. So that sounds sort of like a step backwards, doesn't it? Before you could use it to add extra power to your phone. Now you can't. However, the iPhone here. However, this version works a lot better. It's a much better working version of the device. Hold on 2 seconds. Let's just move the camera out of the way. So I slot it in. Yeah, that basically just slots in there to the thing, and then it springs up on the other side. Yes, I haven't found a game that doesn't respond perfectly. It just works extremely well. So that's the. We can have a look at some other games if you like. Oh. Let's have a look what else we've got here. The Telltale games will work perfectly. So there's Tales from Borderland on there. Nicely Old Republic works perfectly. KOTOR, that kind of thing. They all generally work very well on it. And like I said, compared to the previous version, the response is actually very good. The response of how it feels. So yeah, if you want to turn your iPhone into a fairly decent gamepad controller, then the Gamevice controller for iPhone is a good way of doing it, assuming you're an iPhone user. I'm actually recording this on my new phone, which is a Samsung Galaxy S8. You can see my first look at that. So obviously I'm not going to have much use for this now. I paid $79.95 for it in the Apple Store. I'm going to show you a brief example of Tales from Borderlands. So we can play that, just so you get the idea of how the Telltale games work. Continue that episode. Now you notice I'm using the touchscreen to control it. You can actually use the regular buttons. It will, when the controller's plugged in, you can actually just control everything through the regular buttons. So if you're a big fan of the Telltale games, it's funny because the Telltale games. Here we go. You see the button options. Ordinarily it has a touch button, whilst now the conversation options correspond with these 4 buttons here. So essentially the way it works is it's already so well integratedly designed into using this device. So I'll get this up. I'll probably skip the video a little at this point. There we go. You see the controller buttons correspond with the conversation choices, and it works very well. And it allows you to sort of just play without touching the screen, essentially. You can also use the joystick to move around. You'll see that in a minute. Now, as you can see, you can actually use the gear stick, the controller stick, to walk around as well into each area. So if you're playing Telltale games and you don't like using touchscreen controls, then these work perfectly. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks a lot, and please subscribe. That's the Gamevice controller for the iPhone.